The first time you hook up with a guy, it's just like, oh, you know what you're doing.
I mean, I'm just super attracted to women.
Bro, this video is fucking awesome. Thank you. I just love seeing new perspective.
That is a lie. They're pretending.
You find it harder to be black or harder to be gay?
I find it harder to be.
Welcome back to Be Free with me, Brian Terada. Today, we are asking the question, do gay men and straight men think the same?
I am open to being in an open relationship.
I ain't got that muscle chin.
This is a great.
It's like semi.
Damn.
I guess I should just.
I am not secure enough for that.
Actually, it's a new thing for me. I just finished a book called Polysecure by Jessica Fern, and it made me rethink the way I think things. Because it goes into a lot of like attachment theory and like why we connect with one person and how often it doesn't work and what polyamory or like dating other people looks like. And so I've been exploring that.
I mean, I disagree just because I'm in a monogamous marriage right now, and I don't think my wife and I would ever do that. But I think that if presented with the opportunity from the beginning, you know, like if let's say, you know, if my wife, well, first my wife tries to trap me all the time. She's like, "Do you want an open relationship?" And if I even have an inkling of saying yes, she's like out the door. But I used to be really jealous, and for some reason with my current wife, I'm not jealous at all. So I can imagine if I had a future relationship and it started out polyamorous, that I could get on board with it.
That sounds like a healthy attachment right there, right?
So like a healthy attachment.
There you go. You don't even need to read the book.
I'm just not secure enough for that. And I don't knock people who can do it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, hey, more power to you. But for me, I think like something like in a relationship like that should be like sacred.
Like you have this one person and you have this one special thing with this one person and
Yeah,
no one else.
exactly.
And that's what makes it so special.
Exactly.
I feel like I already have multiple relationships with my girlfriend, my work, my family. Like taking on another person, I don't think I have it in me to spread myself out that much. With every relationship comes like responsibilities and you have to like be present in each thing. And I don't think I could even do that across the board. And also I think of my relationship, you know, my girlfriend's like my best friend. Like I fucking love her. I feel like I could never even picture me or her with someone else. I feel like we're soulmates almost, you know? So like that thought doesn't exist in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
It's cute. You'll grow out of that.
Okay, so I was a little scarred. I had a situation where I was open to the idea, and I think I let my guard down. It's something that I never would have done had it been this person, because I felt so secure with him at one point. And when he told me about a partner that he's had, and the fact that he wanted to continue to see him while seeing me. And then lies started trickling in where the man didn't know about me, but he said that he knew about me. I became insecure about the entire situation. And so, though I feel like it's possible, you have to just be really honest. So I feel like I would be very on guard to try that again. I'm a jealous bitch.
I feel that.
Do you think in the gay community it's easier to think about having different
Well, yeah,
partners?
there's less of a power dynamic, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to think men versus women. We just think men versus men, so we don't have to worry about like one person being quote unquote
Right.
a secretary type of situation.
Like, do you think, because you know, guys, maybe sexual relationships don't mean as much as for women. Women get very attached when it comes to like sex. Do you think it's easier for you guys to maybe have another relationship that's not necessarily like emotional but just sexual, and your partner to be okay with it because he understands that, oh, this is not an emotional relationship because he's a guy?
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much why I came all the way over here. But actually, after your answer, I was kind of like, you know what, maybe I only just agree, not strongly agree. Because you're right. One, I've had an experience dating someone where it was open and we communicated, and it wasn't necessarily like a whole nother relationship. It was like, hey, I'm like traveling, I'm gonna go a little crazy here.
Am I allowed to go
Or
through
like,
this? Yeah.
yeah, and like you can too. And it was the first time that I wasn't super jealous, because I have been jealous in the past, and I totally get that. But then, like you were saying, it's kind of risky because you're kind of taking a chance on your relationship. You're adding in all these different factors and dynamics in this other person and kind of another relationship. And it's just kind of, it's not as sacred.
What makes it less sacred? Because a candle loses nothing from lighting another candle, which is one of the quotes that always gets me.
That's a
It's like,
fucking tweet.
yeah, it loses nothing, and then there's more light, and it's like, oh, I can actually do this more than one way.
I think it's definitely the health of each person, because I think there's a lot of toxicity that goes on with the open relationship culture. Most people just want to get off with other people.
I agree. It can still be sacred while you're in an open relationship. You just have to have that level of emotional intelligence and trust with your partner.
Trust with your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm open to experimenting with the gender I am not attracted to.
I knew it. I knew it. Woo! Let's go.
Cause I wouldn't say I'm so against it that it's like I would never.
Yeah.
But I don't want to.
Right.
I'm open to it. Like I don't think it's crazy to think about me like I've kissed Kian. Yeah. Sorry. Ayla.
Okay, I guess if you're gonna put it that way, yeah, I've kissed my friends too.
I don't think I'm
Yeah.
open. Like I don't think it's a crazy thought in my head, but I don't want to.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you something.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll tell you something right now.
He's like, I read this book.
Let me confirm.
I read this book. Let me tell you what Jessica said.
First-hand source. This is first-hand source. No books. No books. The
All right, fine.
the first time you hook up with a guy, it's just like, oh, you know what you're doing. Like, oh, you know what I like because you also have these parts. Like, you know what to do with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's over. It's over. It's over.
I think the reason that gay men are over here and straight men are over there is because we are used to being sexually divergent.
Yeah.
We've already had to come to terms with the fact that we are different from the norm. We aren't in the mainstream of what most of the world is sexually. And because we've already kind of broken through that wall, we're okay with the idea, or when we're open to the idea of continuing to break through it. And not to say that that's better or worse, it's just like we had to.
We have the tools in our tool belt.
Mm-hmm.
Possibilities.
We're ready to use them. Zane, what do you think?
I mean, I'm just super attracted to women. Think about women a lot, and definitely am not attracted to guys. So it's just, I don't know. I guess if there was a gun to my head for some reason, I wouldn't
pull
be
the
like,
trigger.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's women only. Like take me out.
It honestly, it never crossed my mind as like something that I would try.
It had to cross our minds to try, and some of us did.
And believe me, sometimes I think a lot that it would be much easier to be gay, for sure. And a lot of straight guys think this, and it's an old like dad joke now where it's like, oh, it'd be so much easier if I could just date a guy. But it's real, like, you know, being with women is difficult. And a lot of times it's like, fuck, man, it's just kind of like a blessing and a curse.
Because you're so different.
Yeah, it's just way different.
But then there's like the difficulty of being gay to the rest of the world.
Yes.
It might outweigh like the.
Oh
yeah,
it very much outweighs
Yes.
the non-struggle.
Yeah, in the house it's easier. Outside the house it's like
Yeah,
not as
for
easy.
sure.
I think we've all had some kind of threesome fantasy. For me, I feel like I've definitely been in a situation with a guy and a girl, and that kind of opened me up to it, where it's just like I would love to experience that again. Cutting yourself off from an experience that could open you up to a whole new world, it's kind of detrimental if you don't try, you know? And so I'm glad that I experienced that, and I would absolutely love to experience that again.
I've wondered if I ever had an experience like that, how I would feel after.
Yeah. But I need a guy there.
Yeah, right.
There's no way I'm doing it without a guy.
Exactly.
But what happened to being experimental?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Two girls, three girls.
Try
He's
it!
going against his point.
God.
It's detrimental if you don't experiment.
All right, Nick Cannon.
I would date someone who has hooked up with one or more of my friends.
Oh, no. How do I get out of the room?
I've seen that before.
No, dude.
Hell no.
No, can't do it.
Hell no. At the altar, you look over to the fucking audience and you see three guys who fucked your girl.
Yeah, no.
That's tough.
No, I can't do it.
For everybody in my friend groups who've dated, it's always ends bad. The friend dynamic gets messed up. And I just always felt like I love my friends. I love my work. I don't want that to be messed up by a relationship when there are millions of other people out there.
I just know how some of these dudes talk about that situation and be like, oh, bro, I fucked the shit out of her. I cannot deal with that.
My parents got divorced really young, and they've been super good friends ever since. So that's what started it. But then, being gay in high school, there's not that many people to choose
That is
from.
true. That is true.
There's not that many people to choose from.
Yeah.
So you're either finding the guy who went to the high school right there that you know is gay from the guy who he hooked up with church camp, who's also your friend. Like, you're choosing him, or you're trying to turn a straight, like, or, and then it gets in college, and it's not that much bigger.
Yeah.
Especially if you went to a small school, not the pool. Everyone already knows each other. Damn. So you're either going for the one you know,
That is true.
or you're trying to turn someone.
So you have
right?
to learn. Yeah, you already.
You have to learn. You're going to see them. You're going to see them regardless. You have to learn to be friends with these people. You have to learn, and then when you get into a gay community, it's like, well, now we've learned how to do that.
Yeah.
So now when I date a new person, I'm like, yeah, he probably has slept with him. Like, not me saying right now. But now it's like, hey, friend, you know this person? He's like, yeah, I slept with him. Here are his red flags. Here are his green flags. Thank you, bro. Thank you for that. Now I know
We
what I'm
do
getting
do that
into.
in the gay community.
Oh, of
We
course
do
we
do
do.
that.
I see you're following him on Instagram. Tell me about
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Oh, I slept with him a
We
couple
do that
times.
all the
He
time.
does this. He's really weird about this things. Okay, great, got it.
Got it.
That's
Bro,
not
this
that makes
video
sense.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah, this
Like,
is a really
it's
good
so
video.
fun because I
Yeah.
never saw that perspective.
Yeah.
And it's like you're able to do it because that's all you've
Tools.
known.
Yeah.
And we don't really have a choice. There's just
Yeah.
fewer guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just love seeing new perspectives. That just gives me such a new perspective.
I'm dating someone now who is still friends with people that he used to hook up with. Like, good friends. What am I gonna do? Say, like, stop being friends with your close gay friends?
Yes.
You know? You have no more friends anymore.
It's me or him.
Guys, I think it's physical usually up front, but I think we connect quicker. You see someone that you're interested in, and it's just like,
I feel that.
yeah, you feel.
I don't know if I agree with that at all.
Really?
No. I mean, full disclosure, I've been married a few times in my life. Every single time I've been in a long-term relationship that has ended in a brief marriage. No, it started like, oh man, we just met and we're connected and we get each other. Like, straight men, when we find a woman that we connect with, it's like you find a soulmate. It's harder for straight guys to connect with multiple women like that, but when you find someone, it's like, boom, it's quick, and it's as if it's been going on forever.
Do you think it's more one-sided, like more pursuant from the guy going after the girl than
Not all the time. I mean, in my experience, no, not at all.
when it's guy to guy, we kind of like go after each other, whereas like I know a lot of straight relationships, the guy's usually the pursuer.
But do you think it's because, like you were saying, we're always looking for a commonality, and I feel like when you share something that's hard, the connection might be stronger because it's like when you're both gay, it's like that's such a heavy thing to carry that you can connect on that a lot faster than like we both like scary movies or something. You
Right.
know? Hit us with a tough one, like
geez.
like gay people. Gay people shouldn't vote. Like something like.
My sexuality is a major part of my identity.
A major part.
This is disagree.
I'm gonna strongly agree because straight guys don't have to think about it at all. So just by the fact that we just
I
get
see
to
what you
be
mean.
straight without thinking about it, like that is an identity in and of itself.
That is true.
All right. Look at you. I'm over here. How often do you guys think about the fact that you're gay?
Every day.
Yeah.
It's an everyday.
I bet.
Yeah.
I never think about the fact that I'm straight.
Yeah, same.
It doesn't cross my mind. I don't wake up like, all right,
Yeah,
Cal.
but you
one
do.
time.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The things you wear.
I just like
You won't put you won't put on a dress.
They're not based on my sexuality. They're just based on what I like.
Yeah.
But you like because of your.
No, but it's never the fact that you're straight never comes into play. Like
No.
especially as you get older. Like I'm 38. Like I grew up when it was still cool to use the F word and make fun of people for being gay, or like if you did something it was called gay. But like now, I never worry
think
about
about
that.
it.
I
The only-
never
Not
think about
worry,
it at all.
but there are things that we're conditioned to do because we are taught this is what this is, right?
Right, conditioned. So it's not you're
Conditioned.
not actively thinking about it. It's
But
just
it's a major part of your personality, no? I mean, look at how you're dressed. It is.
We're literally all dressed exactly the same.
But look at Brian.
We're almost dressed the same. No. We're 3 straight NPCs right here.
But it's not like I woke up, went in my closet like, I'm straight and therefore I'm gonna wear this.
No, your closet screamed it at you, and you already chose the clothes.
No way. I have stuff that could be considered like more, on the gay side, which I don't even know what that means. But the only time I'm reminded that there's like different sexuality is when I see Brian or I see a gay person. I'm like, oh, that's right. Some people are gay. That's the only time it crosses my mind. You know what I mean? I don't think.
Hey, did you know that?
Like my girlfriend's sister's gay, and every time I see her, I'm like, that's right, they're gay. Hell yeah, go them. Other than that, I never think about the fact that
But
I'm
you
straight.
like sports, right? Do you think
Gay
if
people
we were
like
But that doesn't have to
I
be
have
a
a question. I have a question.
Go for it.
It's a hypothetical.
Okay.
If it were flipped, if it were like taught, like girls like sports, we're taught that. It's a major part of your personality. You were taught it.
Yes and no.
No,
because
but we're not
like,
taught. Wasn't taught that I was straight.
No, but you were taught how to be.
The culture of being straight.
But do you think that's
the
more of a
question
gender
was
thing?
like, is being
I don't know.
straight part of
I
my
don't know.
identity?
I don't know.
Because I think that's more of a gender thing. Like boys are taught to like sports.
Yeah.
It's not like you're straight, so you like sports. You're gay, so you like. It's maybe like to your point. It's like maybe I was taught to like these things because I was a boy, not because of my sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Like the way I'm dressed, you can argue it's like
Yeah.
you dress like a boy.
Gender's a different conversation.
Gender's a different conversation.
Yeah.
If we're going based on gender, then it might be different. But sexual orientation, I don't think.
And I think we're learning to the gay thing too, because a lot of gays like who like sports are like, fuck, like I feel bullied, like I can't even like sports. Like I feel like I can't be gay the way you want me to
That
be gay.
sucks because I
think
feel
that's
like I would
changing
love
now.
sports.
I feel like that's changing.
I definitely- that's why-
because
that's
there's
why
a
I
lot
said
of people who are like professional athletes coming out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think that narrative is also changing.
Yes,
a little bit.
100%
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So Dill, how come you started over here and went over there?
Because of his point.
Yeah, he was right.
But that was like a singular point. I think really I disagree, because like, yeah, sure, not thinking about it is my identity, blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't ever shape who I am based on my sexuality, really. Except for all of my stand-up comedy is relationship driven and sex driven. And that just comes out naturally. So it is part of my identity, but it's not something that I'm conscious of.
Our existence as gay people, we're almost fitting into a straight world. So it is something that's like constantly in our mind. Like me walking down the street, passing you three, not knowing your sexuality. It's like, okay, they're obviously seeing this homo. Like it goes through our mind. Yeah.
It's kind of like a fish not knowing it's in water.
Yeah.
Like when you're straight, you don't realize how straight the entire world is. When you're gay, you're like, everything's straight.
so different around to do.
Damn, I never thought of it like that.
Every movie, every book, every story, every
they're
relationship.
straight.
Yeah.
To your point, like I think my gender plays a role. Like I do think like growing up, like oh boys wear this, girls wear that, so I should wear this. But even if I was gay, I would still think like oh boys wear this, I'm a boy, I should wear this. It wouldn't change much of my personality.
But it does. Like, if someone shows up to the pregame and they're dressed straight, you're gonna be like, "Why are you dressed like that?"
If everyone was gay,
If everyone is gay and someone shows up to the pregame and they're wearing like vineyard vines and like I don't know Sperry's,
I just want to say I've never worn Sperry's once.
I bet you wore them sockless too.
No, I never
Thank
worn
you,
Sperry's.
motherfucker.
I've never worn Sperry's, bro.
And I think as a gay person, you're still evolving your personalities, your identity, because we started later. We started later.
I feel like I just started.
Yeah.
No, you're so right. Because even now with like black people, like they're just like trying to shove black characters into main roles to make it more diverse. As a little black boy, you start to be like, oh, I can do this, I can see this, I can see that. But they don't do that as much with the gay community. So I see that. Like everything you guys are seeing, it's like a defiance of like your reality.
Absolutely.
So you do feel like you're on the outside looking in, which is really sad.
There's not a lot of role models for us to look at. Like, there's not a lot of the older gay community. They're gone. In America, at least, most of them are gone. So we don't have people to look up to. We're like, what would it look like to be an older gay person?
Yeah.
Like 40s, 50s, what would they look like?
I'm starting to understand why it's such a tight-knit community.
Of course.
There's just not a lot of y'all.
No.
It just makes me sad, honestly. I feel like I want to grab all my gay friends and be like, come here.
The cool thing about it is you guys are kind of like laying down the foundation.
Oh yeah. You have to spearhead diversity, or else who else is gonna do it?
I would rather be straight than gay.
Oh, wow.
Oh. I mean, this is disagree. This is agree.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Yeah. What?
It's so much easier to be straight than gay, and I would definitely like to not have to struggle.
If I try to ask myself would I rather be white than black, I'd still rather be black because we're just cuter, we're more athletic and better at everything. But
That's what it is. That's what it is.
you know what I mean?
Same reason to be gay.
It's that. If you got superpowers now, I have all these tools in my tool belt. You want me to give them back? No.
Yeah.
But is it worth the price you pay?
I don't know.
Here's what I'll say. I'm more successful than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm making more money once I decided to come out. When you're not completely yourself, regardless of straight or gay, the right people are not going to come towards
Yeah.
you.
I feel that the more I get closer to being myself, the better everything around me is.
I said agree, not necessarily because I want to change what I am at this point in my life. I've gone through everything I've gone through. I've learned everything that I need to learn, cried my tears, celebrated coming out, all that shit. But it is kind of hard not to imagine like how much easier things would have been if I just didn't have this huge thing to worry about, especially before I came out. How much lighter life would have felt for that time. I'm just a little bit this way because I just know like, fuck, that was hard.
Yeah.
That was really hard.
Dude, I feel that, but it's your superpower, like we said. And the second you fully dive into it, it's almost like more love in there because it's harder, you know? And I think that is your superpower for sure, 100%. Get back over there.
I'm gonna at least take a step this way. 'Cause you're right. You're right. I wouldn't change it.
I can confirm that being a straight white guy from a middle class background makes my life very calm and devoid of the anxieties that I hear other people talk about.
Absolutely.
There are these constant thoughts of your sexuality, your color, your race, where you're from, all this stuff. It's just, I never experienced that. All of my mental capacity gets to be focused on other shit. And I'm sure that kind of stuff must weigh you guys down a little bit, at least a little bit.
Yeah, I do kind of feel like that. Like, I've had to spend so much time and energy in just figuring myself out and where I fit in the world. If I didn't have to spend so much time and energy on that, then I could spend more time and energy, like, on my career, per se. Or, like,
Damn,
just
you're
on, like,
right.
fucking making money.
Would you find it harder to be black or harder to be gay?
I find it harder to be gay. Yeah, because for some reason, I never really thought about my skin color. Any room that I step into, I've always just been myself. You know, especially since coming out. I don't think that the black factor has stopped me ever. Like, I was always, even within the white communities in school, I was always the standout kid. They were like, how is he so talented? How can he do this? When I was in more of like a racist town, they would always be like, it's because he's black. You know, it was always that. They would always blame it on your race. He can jump because he's black, whatever.
Being black is visual, so people immediately...
Right away.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, being black, it's like,
And you can't hide it.
you know.
I can't hide my Balenciaga purse either, so.
That's glued to my arm.
We're all gonna be friends after this, guys.
I feel more comfortable hanging out with people of my sexuality than a different sexuality.
This is disagree?
Yeah. I'm gonna.
This is a good prompt, though. This is pretty good,
This is
right?
a great one. I like this one. I feel like most guys, especially in the gay community, will be attached to girls, but I've always been a guy's guy. Like, most of my friends are a bunch of gay guys. I've connected more towards people of my own sexuality just because, especially growing up, you're essentially the odd one out, always. You know, you're not surrounded around anyone really that's like you, and so I enjoy that. Now in my life, I have so many commonalities with the same people. I only came out last year, and so it feeds my...
By the way, congratulations, Israel.
Thanks.
You just feel more comfortable.
Yeah, it
like-
feeds my journey now because I can learn more about who I am from the people that are around
Yeah,
me.
totally. Yeah.
This goes for more than just like who else has the same sexual attraction that I do. It goes for any group of people that you have in common with. It's a little bit easier to relate to, hang out with, conversate with, just be around people who you have more in common with. But the reason I'm not a fully, strongly agree is because most of my friends have always been straight. Like my entire life, I played a lot of sports. I hang out like with the Cam boys all the time. I live with straight people. And
Can't stand them.
Shame. Yeah, so like for me personally, I spend like the majority of my time with people who I don't have the same sexual orientation as. And I feel comfortable in that, but there's a different level of comfort when I'm like around a bunch of gays.
Traitor.
Mine's usually like, what headspace do I want to be in right now? Like, do I want to look hot and feel hot? Because then I'll hang out with the gays. Or if I want to like feel funny, the gays are too funny. So I'll go to the straight people and then I'll feel really fucking funny. It's like, what headspace do I want to be
Gay
in?
people are funny as fuck.
They're so funny, and I can't get a single laugh out of them. I go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because it's all kind of the same humor. But
Yeah.
then when you come into a group of people who are
Yeah.
different from you, they're like, whoa, that was shocking that you said that.
I'm like, I didn't even say the joke yet.
The majority of my super close guy friends are straight. I don't generally hang out with a bunch of straight women, so the fact that my circle is mostly straight, I have to agree with this. I can't pretend to disagree and be like, I'll just hang out with anyone, because it's like, you know, I have things in common with other dudes who are just straight, who watch sports, talk shit, talk about women, you know, and yeah, I guess it's a bit of a different vibe with gay guys.
Feels like I'm just trying not to get canceled.
It doesn't really matter to me. Like if I'm like friends with someone, it's because I have a genuine like connection, like in one way or another, whether it's making content or just being able to chill and be comfortable with each other, you know what I mean? Then I don't feel like necessarily I feel like more comfortable with someone who's gay or someone who's straight. As long as you're genuinely my friend, I'd feel comfortable around you.
If the question was, you feel more comfortable around people who are similar races, I'd be over there. But sexuality, it doesn't change anything. I'd be hanging out with you or Dale, I feel the exact same. But hanging out with you guys, like my black friends, I do change a little bit. I become just more like, you know? Because we laugh about the same thing. It's just like, I think being black, maybe you guys can relate, there's just beauty in the struggle of being black.
Well, you're doing it again, the power dynamic. We were all straight once, probably, right? We had to come out, like and like the straight people were the not oppressors, but they were the people like telling us, you have to be this. You were this actually. Right. We're on this side because I mean we're not disagreeing.
I see what you
Yeah.
mean.
I mean, we're always trying to find commonality in our subconscious, you know?
Yeah.
Whether you're on a date, a friend, a working relationship, and when two black people see each other or two white people see each other, it's like, oh, that's something that's immediately in common. And then as you get to know someone, the more you have in common, the easier it is to be friends with them. It's just is what it is.
No, you're so right. We're constantly searching for that common ground.
And it's different with the gay straight because you can't always tell. Now, just in general, anywhere, I'm like, you
Right.
not you.
Yes.
Everyone expresses themselves.
You're not gay.
Let me see the shoes.
Chance.
Too dirty.
Don't you think straight guys are starting to dress a lot different now?
Oh yeah,
They're
they
just
got
like us.
they're scared because the men are taking their men. The men are taking them. I don't know what's happening.
Either way, I'm taking somebody.
Gay men have more pressure to be extremely fit than straight men.
Which ways agree?
I don't even
Agree.
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have more pressure to be fit?
That's a hard one.
I don't know. I don't know because I feel like maybe.
Women say they don't give a shit, but they do.
But I think they grow out of it. Because I feel like a lot of girls now like dad bods.
That is a lie.
That's a lie, you think?
Yeah, that's 1,000% false. They're pretending.
Because most girls are always like, oh, if he's too shredded, like he's not fun. Like he's not gonna eat pizza with me late night. He's gonna be at the fucking gym.
Only a couple people in the world are too shredded. There's a lot of like pressure. Women care, dude.
I feel
Wives
like you haven't
care.
been to West Hollywood in a while. There's a lot of people who are not too fit, but they're shredded. Like shredded. Like how are you keeping that up? Like, how are you
Because
maintaining
I
it?
feel like for me, like anytime I've been in hella good shape, like, excuse my French, but bitches don't really care. Do you know who cares? Other dudes. Other dudes are like, damn, bro, like, what's your workout plan? Damn, bro, like, you look, what you eating these days? So I feel like if I was in the gay community, like, I would feel this pressure to be a little bit more shredded because guys are the ones always like curious about your fucking workout plan. But I've also never been fully out of shape or fully shredded.
I've been fully out of shape before. I was a fat kid, and right now I'm about in between, but in 2016, I was 240 pounds.
Whoa.
Damn.
And in 2012, I was 160. And then there's a lot of things happened. I quit drinking, quit doing drugs, quit smoking cigarettes, and I blew up. But what happened between 160 and 240 was I went from being a guy that people said hi to, smiled on the street, had conversations with. And when I hit like 190, 200, all of a sudden, all of that communication stopped in the whole community, from men and women.
Damn.
Whoa. The reason that I'm all the way over here is because I have this theory, okay, if I can get on my soapbox for a second,
Come on.
that gay men and straight women have so much in common. And one of the biggest reasons for that is that we're all trying to be attractive to men. And men, generically speaking, the visual is more important, sexually speaking, to men than it is to women. I personally see a straight couple, and more often than not, if one of them is hotter than the other one, it's the girl that's hotter than the guy.
Always.
Right?
Always.
We, as gay men, we're trying to be visually attractive to men, which are harder to be visually attractive to than it is for a straight man to be visually attractive to a woman.
Well, women are factoring other things into what's attractive.
Yes.
Beyond
yes,
physical.
Yes, exactly. And they can develop a sexual attraction from emotion, which is much harder, I think, for a man to do.
Man, that's a book.
That's my theory.
I'm behind it.
Attack it, or move spots.
I agree with that.
I agree with that too.
Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to these amazing gay and straight men for that beautiful discussion. We'll see you next time. Bye.